My name is Claude Bouchard, and I'm running for one of the House seats to represent St. Albans and Montpelier. I was born and grew up in St. Albans. I graduated from BFA and returned 10 years later as the automotive technology instructor, a job which I held for 17 years. I choose to stay in Vermont, in St. Albans, to raise my family because of my love for our community and its people. The beautiful landscape, the quality of life we enjoy here is next to none. St. Albans has always been my home and always will be. I am running as a Republican because of my beliefs more closely aligned with the philosophies of the Republican Party and not necessarily with the party's leadership. I do not believe in big government. It is evident that big government is more often than not less efficient and more wasteful with our tax dollars. The less government interacts in our lives, the better we all will be. The bigger the government, the more expensive daily life becomes, and we find ourselves sacrificing a decent quality of life. I believe in small government because Vermonters, and especially those that live here in St. Albans, have enough common sense to run their own lives. I ran for this position 2 years ago, and 2 years later, nothing has changed with the exception of more taxes, fees, and regulations. Taxes continue to rise at an alarming pace, and we are one of the most taxed states in the nation. Vermont is at the bottom of the list at economic development, and the cost of living is climbing faster than our paychecks. Healthcare costs are still out of control. Vermont Health Connect was implemented horribly, and many doctors are leaving Vermont. Many Vermonters are forced to work 2 or more jobs just to cover the cost of living, only to be bombarded with new regulations and increased fees. The cost of education continues to rise despite our student population shrinking. The decline in enrollment is an indication that we have less people choosing to or affording to raise their children here. Drugs and alcohol is still a serious epidemic, as is the crime associated with it. We are seeing more and more good-paying jobs being taxed out of existence. Our government is no longer working for the people, but is instead working against them. I would hate to see us destroy the pristine quality of life we all love and enjoy. For the past 16 years, opportunities for a well-trained, educated workforce are being destroyed for the sake of what very few believe is politically correct. Vermont's one-party rule has not been working for too many Vermonters, and we need to find some balance. For the past 16 years, I have been, like many, fighting this war on drug abuse. If there is one issue that affects every facet of our community, it is this one. I know well the pain many families are suffering from, and it is due to the abuse of drugs and alcohol. I know this firsthand, as my family has suffered from this very problem. I understand the frustrations felt due to the lack of response from our state government. I feel the same anger felt by many when our leaders continuously fail to acknowledge the burden imposed on our community by this growing epidemic. I am outraged and saddened every time another life is lost due to a drug overdose, yet our leaders fail to address the problem until a tragedy occurs. They would prefer to brush it under the rug, but we can no longer put this problem on the back burner. As a legislator, I will use that influence to bring the right people together to solve this growing problem. I will devote much of my time to work on creating a solution instead of denying that the problem even exists. I want to provide hope for those seeking help with their addiction, and I want to make a difference and save lives. At this point, there is little hope for addicts and their families. People are dying and families are being destroyed. I'm very passionate about getting help to those who are in need, including loved ones of those addicts who are so often collateral damage. I know we can do this. I will not stop or be silenced until I do. This, I can promise you. Now, as you can see, I'm not surrounded by elected officials or politicians or big shots, but what I do have is a 12-foot high elephant, a little tugboat that certainly can, my granddaughter, whose future I'm fighting for, and puppies. Yes, I know I'm not playing fair, but there's a lot here that's at stake. So I hope you can see it in your hearts to follow me, to go to my website, claudebouchardbt.com, learn about me, and hopefully I can get your support this November. And thank you very much.